Hello everyone, this is Joel. A lot of you know my story, but I get a lot of requests to tell my story so that people understand what's going on in my life. It's not easy for me to do, and I don't like talking about myself that much, and it's just a little difficult for me to express myself about myself. But I want to attempt to do that today because I have a lot of requests for that. When I was 11 years old, I started having trouble in school with reading and seeing my work and those kind of things. And my parents took me to an eye doctor. And that eye doctor did an examination and he couldn't find anything wrong with my eyes. And he said that I was a rebellious child and that, there was nothing wrong with me. So I went back home and I tried a little harder, and it was soon apparent that there was something wrong. So my parents took me to another eye doctor, and through the process, they finally realized that yes, I had a problem, and I was then diagnosed with what in 1992 was a very rare a condition called Stargardt's macular degeneration. And basically it's a fancy way of saying I had a genetic issue that I was missing a gene that carried the nutrition to the center part of my eye. And so the diagnosis was that my eye would degenerate because of the lack of nutrition. And that was in 1992. For the next few years, the next 10, 20 years actually, I had an eyesight issue. I struggled to read and to see fine detail, but I was fairly capable of doing whatever. I rode dirt bikes and I worked on dirt bikes and I did a lot of mechanic work, and in that time I started a business and run the business and all those things. But in the last couple of years, I lost a large amount of what I had. I lost more in the last few years than I lost over the whole 20 years. To the point where now it's really affecting my life. Finally, it's really a real restriction. I can't read basically anything. Of course, I can't drive. Even just normal activities are starting to become more difficult due to the lack of ability to focus and to see detail, depth, precision, anything like that. In today's age with computers and stuff, the need to see is, it's everywhere. And it's kind of a funny situation for me because I still have peripheral vision, I still can get around. I can function fairly normally in regular, just everyday functions, but anytime pressure's on or there's a detail or anything like that, I just simply am at a loss. And to make a long story shorter, this is where I find myself today. I'm in my shop here at home, a shop that my friends and family and my son helped me put together for a place for me to go and to do something. And you might imagine that being home at 38 years old without the ability to go to work and really provide for my family it's a tough place to be. I'm not saying that because I'm complaining about it or I want sympathy. That's not the point. I don't, but people have asked, and so I'm telling. So from here, this is what I would like to do, and I would like to see if I can find support from you guys. Those of you out there that know me, those of you who would take interest in my situation and what I'm doing here. I want to give back some way. There's been a lot of help given. People have supported me They've given me money and I really appreciate it, but I would really like to do something for it. And I just don't have a lot of ability. I can't drive to your house and do anything for you physically, really. So I would like to try something. About all I know how to do, that I don't have to really see that well in, is work on dirt bikes. And I know for some of you that's not going to be a very interesting thing, but for some of you it might be. But I want to rebuild dirt bikes in my nice shop here and bring you along and share each step of the process and how I do it and how it goes here. But I need your help. As you can imagine, not having a job, I have four children, a wife to support, and you can imagine there's a financial burden. And I don't want just donations to me for no reason. I would like to provide something, some content or something for the money. So I have an idea and I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna rebuild dirt bikes, but I'd like to give you guys the opportunity to sponsor me through it. Each section of the build will require a certain amount of money, and when the thing's completely done, I'll sell it and I'll use the money to support my family. So in a way, you'll be helping me support my family, but also hopefully I'm giving you something, some sort of content, something, some interesting thing at the least to follow. I'll give you an example of how this would work. You see behind me here is a frame and a subframe and a swing arm from my first dirt bike project that I'm gonna do. And it needs to be sandblasted and powder coated. My local shop wants about $250 to sandblast and powder coat this. And I'd like to come to you guys and see if you would be willing to help me raise the money for this step. Any amount given is wonderful. It doesn't have to be a lot. Anything helps. And if you're not interested in it at all, you're not interested in my situation at all, that's perfectly fine. I totally understand, and that's just fine. I only want those that are interested to be involved, because I want to give something for what I get. I would like to raise this money and go with this step, and when that step's done, I'll share it all with you and how it looks and everything, and then we'll go to the next step and just work through it until the bike's done, and then I'll sell the bike and kind of go through that process with you guys and take the money and support my family with it. So if you're interested and you would like to be part of it, you can go to PayPal and just make a donation on PayPal to magiccycles101@gmail.com. Magic, MAGICCYCLES 101@gmail.com. Little or great, makes no difference, all is appreciated. And I understand what I'm asking, and I want to do what I can to make it as interesting as possible. And if you're interested, come along for the ride. I'll put the link to PayPal. If you want to donate, it'll be in the description below. I appreciate it a lot.